Speaking in Runyankole, they ordered me to open the door and I told them I would not. In that moment, I crossed into the general bathroom, locked myself inside and telephoned one of our neighbors. I told the neighbor that we had been attacked by the military and asked the neighbor to help watch over us. I then got out of the bathroom and by the time I reached the sitting room, I found that the military had already broken all the doors and windows. There were so many who had entered the house. Some of them passed through the corridor and went into the children's bedroom. Others went into the lounge, others went into the kitchen, others passed by me and went up the stairs. I was still seated on the stairs when one of the attackers accosted me and ordered me to sit in a chair. I declined and told him I would sit down instead because I felt I could not sit in the chair. I sat down and he stood towering behind me. He ordered me to give him my phone and I passed it to him over my shoulder. He then got and held it in my face. I think he thought it had facial recognition or thumbprint, but it was in fact locked with a password. He ordered me to remove the password in Runyankole and I told him I would not. He ordered me again to remove the password and I responded again that I would not. He then went outside and called about 4 of his colleagues and they came to me. He stood behind me once again and grabbed me by the waistband of my trouser. I was putting on Mr. Kyagulanyi's nightwear trouser and a biker shirt because throughout these days I have been having premonition, a feeling that this kind of attack would happen anytime. Since the military and police have kept us under house arrest since 15th January, they have also made 2 attempts to break into our home. After grabbing me from behind by the waistband, the man lifted me up by the waistband. They were muscular men who closely resembled. They are about the same height, and even when I would look down as they paced about, I would see that they had the same size of shoes, although their shoe types were different, but you could tell that these men were of a certain size and shape. Now, after lifting me by the waistband and suspending me mid-air, the one who was standing in front of me started choking me. He choked me in the neck and he also kept me suspended mid-air by the neck. At that point, the one who was behind me forcefully pulled the night shirt I was putting on. I realized that I could not defend myself against the 2 men, so what I did was to kick the one in front of me. When I kicked him, he walked away. After walking away, his remaining colleagues pulled me by the shirt and all its buttons got torn off and he remained holding the shirt in his hands. In the sitting room, there were very many. If I can estimate, I can't say it's the correct figure, but there were about 40 to 50 men. Some were holding hammers, iron bars, electric cables, some were holding chains, some were holding pliers. After he put my blouse and the buttons went off, I walked naked in the corridor leading into the sitting room. When I went in the corridor, there were some men who appeared mortified by my appearance, so they looked away while others looked down. But there were some who were unbothered, but there was one of them who said, "No, no, 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 give back the shirt to Mama to wear it." Now, one of the men went to get the shirt. The other man had dumped it on the floor and then mockingly ordered me to raise up my hands to wear the shirt. I declined and told him I would dress myself. When I put it on, the man who had grabbed and tore the shirt off me now held me by the puffs of my hair and lifted me and took up to the pillar. There is a pillar in our sitting room, and he hit me on the face and tore my lip. When he was done, he ordered me to give him the password and I insisted that I would not give it to him. All this time we were speaking in Runyankole because it's what he had decided to speak. At that moment, he forcefully pulled back to the floor and I put my head on the floor. They sat on me, about 4 men, and I went silent there on the floor. They ordered me again to give them my phone password and I repeated that I would not do so. There was another man who was commanding them. He entered and told them to get off me, and they did, and I remained sitting down. In that moment, I felt a sudden intense warmth and started feeling restless. I asked for water. They brought me water from the kitchen and I drank it, then asked for more water. In that moment, I felt unwell. I don't know what happened to me. I lost consciousness. When I finally came to, I found myself lying on the veranda outside. I think I had vomited the water, and by that time everyone had already gone. I mean the attackers. They took every phone, every laptop, woofers, power banks, chargers, AirPods, and they disconnected the entire CCTV camera. and went and took it together with the monitor. By the end of all this, they had thoroughly beaten up our askari, and by the time they brought him back into the house to take them to our bedroom, they asked him where the basement was, and he told them he did not know because he was new. By the time they brought him up, I could see he was bleeding. They even broke his tooth. He was on handcuffs with another young man whom he usually stays with. They dragged the girl, the housemaid, from her room. The poor woman was clutching at her Bible, and they asked her where my children were. She told him they had left earlier, but that she did not know where they were. In that moment we sat, I was still seated there, and one of the men came to me and asked me in Nyankole, "Your brother whom you brought to contest in Kampala Central, you thought he would win? You think you'll be picking people from that side and think they will take over the country just like that?" I kept silent, and another one came to me and asked, "By the time you got married to a tourist Muganda, couldn't you marry a Munyankole man?" I still remained silent. This is Barbie Kyagulanyi. Peace.